Yo, what's going on, BB team? I'm sorry that I haven't posted a video in a long time. I think it's been almost 2 weeks now or so. If I'm being honest, I've just been slacking a little bit with my trade reviews. Just trading as a whole. I started back testing. I was doing good with videos, being very active in the Discord, doing all this stuff, and honestly just started falling away from it a bit. Getting myself back on track though. I mean, you're not always going to be super consistent in life, but what matters most is you can keep that discipline and you can keep bouncing back because, if you fall out from something, like let's say like lifting, like being consistent in the gym, you know, it's best or there's gonna be times where there's gonna be a week that you only go a few times, but you just don't want that drawdown to be months or weeks or even years. You always want to bounce back, get back onto your disciplined regimen, and get back to it. So that's what I'm doing right now. Today took 3 trades here, so I actually started this log here. I got it from Wag. Thank you, Wag. I really appreciate it. I really like it. Um, but yeah, took technically 4 trades. I mean, one was a swing, but I took 3 day trades. And in the past 2 days, we are up about 5% on the account. Nothing super, super crazy, but I mean, hey, when you think about it, that's like as much, uh, I don't know if it's like interest or whatever. I don't know. I'm stupid, that you'll get per year for like your bank account. And I mean, I did that in 2 days. So, I mean, can't be disappointed in that. Uh, you're not always going to see crazy, massive gains. But yesterday did pretty good right here. I'm not going to go over my trades yesterday. We're going over them today, which is June 8th. So we took 3 trades today, 2 wins, 1 loser. Very happy with my 2 wins. The 1 loser, I did make one mistake that I tend to see, and that is just forcing a trade. I feel like that is literally my biggest issue is forcing my trades. But we'll get that eventually. So let's get into our first trade first. This is my big trade for the day. This was a 36% gain. My runner, I think, went about 90%. I basically I bought at the bottom of this demand and sold at the top um, here, which I can actually just go back and mark this out for you guys real quick. Sorry, I actually ended up deleting this. But anyway, so right here in the morning, what we ended up doing is, of course, I'm kind of watching the 5, I'm kind of watching the 10 minute, seeing where price is going to move. And uh, what my daily plan was already was, okay, well, there's a few scenarios that are going to happen here. It's either in the morning, since we've been kind of holding our demand zone overnight, we're either going to push up above pre-market high, kind of get a retracement, and then I can look for calls there. We can, keep basing and chopping within this area, or there's two more too. We come up, we kind of get another test up, we end up breaking up, getting a bounce off of this demand, or we break back down below and we just start flushing down to our BB levels below. So what we ended up doing, here for the first few minutes, just chop. We're kind of getting this indecision. We end up coming back down to demand, and then look at here on the 5 minute, we end up getting this high volume hammer candle. And on the 1 minute, what I was actually looking at is, this slow pullback down here. And what I kind of noticed is we're kind of creating a wedge, and we make this hammer on the 1 minute also high volume hammer, and it's right off the bottom of this wedge. We break up. I don't really like to play the break of like patterns anymore. So one thing that I do like to break, or I do like to play, I'm sorry, is like lead test, like structure, everything. So I was looking for a break and a pullback to make a higher low. So what we get here is, you see here in the morning, we make a low, high, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. But look at what we got here. We got a higher high, pulled back to the golden pocket from this move to the bottom here to this new higher high, pulled right back into it, kind of created this high volume hammer, Look at that. That's beautiful confirmation. So we get our break of structure, we get high volume, and then what we're actually doing here too is we're breaking the 9 EMA on the 5 minute. So we buy in here with, here, let me just mark this real quick. We buy in right here with 8 contracts at a 0.41 fill. So it was a $328 position. And let me show you how I scaled out here. So what I like to use is Bueller's staircase method. So of course my first price target here is, you know, I could have aimed for this high, but the thing is the risk to reward ratio is horrible. Like, I mean, it's not bad. It's almost 2. Um, but at the same time, like, I'm not just gonna aim for, like, you know, if it made sense here, but with like this tight of a take profit, I don't think it really makes sense at all to take your profits there. So what I was aiming for was this BB or this pre-market high level. And what we ended up doing, you know, pushing up, getting some rising volume on this push up, you know, started pulling back, look at the volume, not a lot of volume, kind of got this indecision slash like almost a pin bar ish candle, and we ended up creating, look at, a higher high, a higher low. So our play still hasn't been invalidated. We haven't seen a break of structure or anything, which is where I would like to get out, like a push below this golden pocket or below this low. You know, end up continuing, getting some more continuation up, and end up taking our first profit here at pre-market high. We took off 6 cons here for a 0.52 fill, so made $66, locked that in right there, and moved our stop up above our recent low. And like I just said, the reason being is just because if we get a break of structure and we create a new lower low, there's a high chance that we're going to end up just, you know, completely having this play invalidated, and we just continue to make new lows because that's going to be a change of our trend. So here is just a BB level that I have marked. Oh no, this is actually a intraday level from the previous day in the zone that I did have marked. I'm sorry, I thought it was a BB level for some reason. And this is going to be, so I have 2 runners left, and then this is going to be my take profit for my first runner. Of course, you see, ended up hitting here, and what do? We move our stop down below that low. And at the same time here too, I'm just watching like the 5 and the 10 minute. And I mean, within this whole push up, we only had, what, 1, 2, 3 red candles here. And none of them had significant volume. You know, it's not like we're having crazy rising volume this whole time, but we're getting rising volume here. You know, we kind of have these reset candles where we're kind of just chopping, end up breaking up, more rising volume, starts to lower a bit. We get this rejection here, but look at no volume, get the slow chop up, volume starts to pick up again. So bulls are holding over the 9 EMA, and our volume like is obviously higher than like seller volume. So that's just what I'm kind of watching to hold these two. But anyway, oh, what the hell? What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm sorry, I'm kind of unorganized here. But of course, ended up breaking up again and actually came up to our BB level here. And I sold right in here. For my last con was 0.75, so we ended up locking in 120 bucks on this play. 36.59% win, felt calm. And yeah, that was just a really good example of a lead test and using the staircase method. So don't really feel like I did anything wrong with that trade. You know, no hesitation on my entry. We got like a break of structure, volume confirmation. We got a candlestick pattern at the golden pocket. Everything just lined up perfectly. Beautiful A+ setup. So let's get into the second one real quick. Alright guys, so this was my second trade here, and this was actually a very quick trade that I took, and I do think I did one thing wrong with this trade, and then I also could have gotten a better entry up here too. But anyway, let's get right into it. So the trade that I did take is a lead test, and again, you know, lead test, my favorite setup. And the reason being is, you know, after our big trend up here, we're kind of holding this demand. We're not really getting a lot of continuation here, and we can just look at the structure. So look at, we get this higher high, you know, we kind of get like the same low. We do make a higher high, but we really fail to push higher here. So we're kind of just ranging at this point in time. Um, we come down, get a same low, come back to the top of our range. So right now we're just ranging, and this is showing, of course, that we're probably not going to get a lot of bullish continuation, or we're going to range, come up here, get like a retest, and end up pushing higher, which we did later in the day. But what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a break to the downside and a pullback to the golden pocket. And where I could have done this is I could have done it right here technically. Um, let's mark it like this. Look at this. We get this high volume pullback here. We get this like kind of high volume indecision candle, very low volume pullback, and we get this like pin bar off. We kind of chop a little bit, and then we get this high volume push down off of the 9 EMA, off of the golden pocket. But what I really wanted to see is this rule that I see Bueller talk about, and it's for getting into any reversals or like getting in against trend, I guess. It's like, okay, we just had this big rally up. Look at the 9 EMA on the 10-minute and wait for a break of that, a break and close below that, and then start looking for pullbacks on lower time frames. So what we got here, and why I waited actually for this second like lead test to happen, is because we actually ended up closing down below the 9 EMA here on the 10-minute, and we fully broke out of this range. So we're not just like trading from this range, we fully broke out. And what I did is I just marked my fib from this high to this low, and this was actually a very, very quick entry. And I did actually make a mistake too, so I'll get into that, because I could have pulled out a lot more money out of this trade, because it was only about a 6% win. Made about 20 bucks, nothing insane. It's not horrible. You want to keep either have a small win, big win, or a small loss. You never want to have a big loss, so I can't really complain. But where I actually got in was when we started to break down this candle, because what you could actually see is volume really started to like spike as soon as this candle closed, and we started to push down right away. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna get my entry here, and I got filled like towards the top for 0.3. So I bought 10.3 cons around here, around the top of this candle. Actually had a pretty good entry, but I think the one mistake that I did make is, look at this. I took profits right here, which is usually what I like to do. But here, let me look at our risk to reward here. So what I liked about this too is a very tight stop, about 8 cents. Oh, this was actually pretty good. It was about a 2 risk to reward ratio. Here, shoot. Alright guys, so I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this trade, because this was a trade that I did end up forcing. And the reason being, and the one major thing that I missed was, where we were on the higher time frames and what we just did. So let me go back here. So on this push down here, on the 10-minute, volume was kind of stagnant. It was pretty low. We didn't get like a ton of volume confirmation here. It's still pretty good volume, but not rising or anything like that. But what we end up doing is pulling back down to this intraday structure, creating a hammer candle here on the 10-minute and pushing right back up. And then we have slightly rising buyer volume, and then on the second candle we end up like holding it. It's kind of like it's like an invalidated 3-bar play, but we got this push break back above the 10. We didn't reject it again, and we're holding above the golden pocket. Same thing on the 5-minute. Look at here, we end up coming down here, having this hammer, getting rising volume. We break above the 9, so this is kind of just like a little bit of a buy the dip. We end up getting above this golden pocket, and buyers kept on holding it. But what I did with my bias is I wanted to keep playing puts to the downside, because I'm like, oh man, I caught from the bottom all the way to the top of this range. What if I can now play from the top, or the bottom to the top, and then the top to the bottom? That's just what I was thinking. So we push back up here. I'm kind of ignoring volume and how we're getting these big spikes of volume within here, showing that buyers are really present. I wasn't looking at the 5 or 10. seeing that we closed back above the EMAs, and I was like, okay, what I would like to see is us create a higher low at this golden pocket from this move all the way down to this move, because what I was also kind of seeing was like we broke down here, this could be like an 80% entry back from this move, like if we mark it here on the 5 minute, and then see another leg down. So I was like, all right, I want to see us, push up, come down, get a lower high, push down, and where I actually entered here is right here. Which I did kind of like stick to my plan in a way where, we got this high, pulled down, got this lower high, came down here. Look at volume though on this flush down. We literally had no volume here, and then obviously buyers are holding us above the golden pocket, which is not a good sign. And then also on the 5 and the 10, we're coming back down, retesting the 9 EMA and having more of a buy the dip to then get our next leg up, and we ended up rallying up to like the 180 area. So my biggest mistake here was just not being conscious of where we were on the 5 and the 10, along with the 9 EMA. So what I needed to actually see was, have us fail to hold above this golden pocket here and come up like this, go up like this, make that lower high, have us fail to hold above this golden pocket, pull back down like that, and that would actually push us back down below our EMAs, showing that buyers are not strong enough to hold us above, and that should have given me the confidence to then, be like, okay, now I can enter puts because I have a good risk-reward ratio, and this will probably, send us to our next leg down, just because we weren't able to reclaim these EMAs in this demand zone. But of course, I let my bias get to me. Only took a small 30% loss, a little 11% loss, so that's nothing crazy. I was just being greedy, not sticking to my plan, not being conscious of where we were, just forcing that trade. So definitely has to be something that I have to work on, because I've been struggling with that for around the past month. It used to be really, really bad. It doesn't happen that often to me now, but yeah, gonna go back, do some more trade reviews, everything like that. But yeah, thank you for watching. Like I said, I'm sorry that I haven't posted in a while, and this video isn't really as organized as the other ones, but I did want to post a video. Just start getting myself back on the right track again. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you guys do have any advice, or if there's anything I missed, any constructive criticism, please let me know in the comments, or just message me on Discord. I don't really care if people message me. I don't get bothered by it at all. Or even if you guys have any questions, just DM me on Discord. It's just Peoples, spelled just like the channel name. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great night and everything, and we're gonna kill it in the market tomorrow.